is Sports Drive.
Welcome back into Sports Drive once again. I'm your host, Preston Moore. I mentioned earlier in the show we would be talking a little bit of high school baseball in the middle of district play right now. One of the best teams in our area picked up a big win yesterday against one of the other best teams in our area. Joining me right now to talk about that win is the head coach of the Amarillo High Sandies baseball team, Randon Johnson. Coach Johnson, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me on, Preston.
Well, I am excited to talk about Amarillo High baseball with you, and I'm excited to talk about this game yesterday against Paladuro at Paladuro. We know that Paladuro's had a pretty good baseball team so far over the course of the last couple of years. Talk to me a little bit about what that game was like and coming out with a 5-2 victory, as I know it was neck and neck for a little while, 1-1.
Yeah, it was a really tight game early, really kind of a pitcher's duel. Obviously, the weather was better yesterday than it was on Tuesday when we originally scheduled it, but still had a little wind blowing in, so that always makes a challenge for the hitters. And both the pitchers were on their game early on, and so it looked like it was going to be a game that might be over in about an hour and 30 minutes. But we kind of settled in a little bit, and both teams were able to get a little bit of offense going and back and forth, and then broke it open with the big 3 RBI double in the top of the 7th with the pinch hit from Wyatt Purser. Was a clutch hit. It was really big for us.
Absolutely. Well, you're in the middle of district right now, like I mentioned, and you're undefeated in district still right now. And that's obviously got to feel good, but still some more baseball to play yet. Still a handful of games before the playoffs begin. Talk to me a little bit about what it means to be undefeated in this point in the district season and how you continue that.
Well, specifically this week, we're looking every day to go 1-0, but at this point in our season, we're playing a series each week, and so it really sets us up for what May looks like, and you got to go win 2 out of 3 games to advance and keep going in the playoffs. And so, playing Paladuro twice this week, it's always good to get that first one, but the second game is the one that determines whether you keep going or if you got to play a third game. And so finding a way to win 2 games a week is a big, big part of what we're doing right now and through the month of April. And I think it really gives us a good understanding of what we need to do when it comes to the playoffs. Absolutely. And,
I couldn't agree more. And I want to talk a little bit about a specific player that you have on your team. We at News Channel 10 did a story about him a little bit ago. Rylan Leathers is on your team, and he's also participating in Amarillo High track, and he's bouncing between these different sports. Talk to me about really just what his schedule is for viewers who may not know and how you guys are able to make that happen for him.
Yeah, so, yesterday he was all baseball. So he was a baseball player all day yesterday. Today is the prelims for the district track meet. So he's out at Dick Bivens. He's all track today. And then on Friday, he's going to do both. And so we've coordinated together and have a pretty good idea of that schedule. And, I really kind of wish we were playing at Paladuro on Friday, just a little bit easier to drive from Dick Bivens to over there, but he has a good plan to get over here. And one of the luxuries that we do have is we have a deep team. We got a lot of guys, like I said, Wyatt coming off the bench with a big pinch hit. We used 4 different pitchers, 3 relief pitchers yesterday. And so we do have a lot of depth, and we have a lot of guys that we've developed all year long, and they're waiting for their opportunity. And so if it comes down to a deal where Ryland's still out there running, we'll put a next man up. And we'll have a guy that's ready to go. So, it's a scheduling, I'd say difficulty on the front end, but once we get into the game, we just kind of roll with it. And we got a lot of guys who've prepared for it and planned for it, and we like those guys that go out and do a lot of stuff. They tend to be really good in the moment. They tend to handle the pressure really well.
Absolutely. Well, and, it's interesting to me to bounce between these different sports. And we talk a lot about how student athletes playing different sports may help them in other sports as well. I would imagine track probably helps a little bit with running the bases. But also, I do think it speaks to the level of athlete that he is, right? That he's competing in these different events at the same time. Talk to me a little bit about what it says about him as a student athlete and as an athlete at Amarillo High.
Well, the first thing I'll tell you, it does help him on the bases. He was our first run yesterday. We had to, Rylan was at second, and Melo Castillo put a great bunt down. And usually you're looking to go station to station on a bunt, but Rylan read it and saw an opening there, and he ended up going second to home for our first run.
That was a great play. We actually have a footage of that up on our Instagram. If anybody's watching right now and wants to go see that play, it was a great play, great run by him. Continue, please.
Yeah. Great play, and I got a chance to watch it on the news. It was even better from that angle and those kind of things. But just to talk about him specifically as an individual, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of preparation to be able to do those things. We're talking about baseball and track today, but a couple weeks ago it was playing the state basketball tournament, be a big part of our basketball team. And then 3 days later, he's getting on a bus and going to Midland to play in a doubleheader and start his baseball season. So, you got to be doing a lot of things before you get to the game. You got to be doing a lot of things right in your life to be able to, your body to hold up to that. And two, he's a student athlete as well. So I know some of the classes he takes, and they're challenging. But just the same way he challenges himself physically on the field, he does that mentally as well. And, we've talked about 3 sports right here, and we're not even talking about the one that he's going to play college football for. So, there's a lot of things out there. And he's just one guy in the piece, but we got a lot of guys who maybe not as much as him, but do a lot of different things and do it really well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talk about a multi-sport athlete. It's really, really impressive what he's been able to do. And it's obviously also great that you guys are able to accommodate for that as well at Amarillo High and with the district and working in between these schedules as right now with track and baseball happening simultaneously. Coach Johnson, really appreciate you coming on the show. Wish we had more time to talk about district, but congratulations on an undefeated district season so far. We're looking forward to the rest of district and hopefully a playoff run.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully see everybody out 5 o'clock, Sandy Field tomorrow. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll be right back with more Sports Drive right after this break.